Fire watch. Hot work is any work that involves burning, welding, cutting, brazing, soldering, grinding, using fire or spark-producing tools, or other work that produces a source of ignition. The number one safety recommendation for hot work is to determine whether there is an alternative to hot work. Hot work hazards can be avoided if there is an alternative method to complete the job, such as screwed, flanged, or clamped pipe, manual hydraulic shears, mechanical bolting or pipe cutting, or compressed air actuated fasteners. If hot work cannot be avoided, certain precautions must be taken, such as the use of a fire watch. A fire watch is a worker who is required to be on site where hot work is being done to prevent fires, sound an alarm, and put out any fires that happen. A fire watch must be on site whenever welding or cutting is done in locations where a major fire could develop and if any of these conditions exist. Combustible materials are closer than 35 feet to the operations. Combustibles are more than 35 feet away but could be easily ignited by sparks. There is a wall or floor opening within a 35-foot radius of exposed combustible material, and combustible materials near the other side of metal partitions, walls, ceilings, or roofs could be ignited by conduction or radiation. Fire watch responsibilities include not having any other duties while they are on shift, activating the worker alarm system, keeping themselves and other workers alert, knowing the exact location of firefighting equipment, making sure all workers are aware of the exact location of firefighting equipment in the immediate area, maintaining clear and constant contact with workers in hot work areas, and maintaining the conditions and requirements stated on the work permit. Other fire watch responsibilities include calling 911 or the provided emergency number, stopping operations if hazardous conditions exist, inspecting the entire work area before and during each work shift, looking for potential releases of flammable vapors or liquids, being prepared to use fire extinguishers, hydrants, fixed monitors, and hose carts at any time, never leaving the job site while work is being done. If you have to leave, stop the job and notify workers, and returning all firefighting equipment to its original location. The National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA 51B standard for fire prevention during welding, cutting, and other hot work requires fire watches to remain on site for a minimum of 60 minutes. The permit authorizing individual could require the fire watch to remain on site longer, depending on the conditions of the work site. Before leaving the hot work area, fire watches should double check for possible fire hazards, such as burning embers or hot sparks. A fire watch must make sure that a hot work permit is followed. A work permit is a written authorization used to control potentially hazardous work and the environment where the work will be done. The hot work permit helps the permit authorizing individual, hot work operator, and fire watch recognize potential hazards. Hot work permits can vary by company, but should include a warning, the area of the hot work, the work to be completed, a pre-authorization checklist, the authorizing individual's name, the date and time, and the amount of time the permit is valid for. A fire watch must be trained on how to identify the required hot work permit, use gas testing equipment and fire extinguishers, and follow a company's fire prevention plan. Fire watches must be trained in the use of fire extinguishing equipment and have it readily available. They must be familiar with how to initiate an alarm in case of a fire. Fire watches must watch for fires in all exposed areas, try to extinguish them only when they have the appropriate equipment, or sound an alarm. Available fire extinguishers should be the correct type for the fire class hazards at your job. Class A, solid combustibles. Class B, liquids and gases. Class C, electrical equipment. Class D, flammable metals. Class K, kitchen fires, and multi-purpose. If there is a fire while you are on duty, use the pass method to extinguish the fire. Pull the pin to ready the extinguisher for discharge. Aim low and point the extinguisher toward the base of the fire. Squeeze the lever to discharge the extinguisher. Sweep back and forth as you move closer to the fire. Keep the fire extinguisher pointed at the base of the fire until it is out. Never turn your back on a fire, even if it appears to be out. Portable fire extinguishers should only be used for fires in the incipient stage. Incipient fires are fires in the beginning stages. Fires are not incipient when they are bigger than a trash fire or when they spread beyond their original source. If either of these situations happens, activate the alarm, evacuate the area, notify your supervisor, and leave the firefighting to professionals. While fire watches are on duty, they must wear the minimum required personal protective equipment, or PPE, appropriate for the conditions. Common PPE for fire watches includes a hard hat, respiratory protection, eye and face protection, fire-resistant clothing, or FRC, and protective footwear. The best way to prevent hot work hazards is to avoid them. Always use alternative methods when they are available. If this is not possible, have a properly trained and equipped fire watch on duty. A fire watch's duty begins before any hot work is started and does not end until at least 60 minutes after hot work is finished. Stay safe.